Nanaba, what the problem is with Ghana is that we are quick to pass on to the consumer. Both ECG, Ghana Water, all the service providers, they are quick to pass on to the consumer. When the indicators are positive for the consumer, then you would find them closing an eye to the system. Just last week, I think we all woke up with a shocker that said fuel prices had to go up by 15% because, not because the other function of the price determinant, which is the FOB price or the world market price, had gone up, but because the cedi had lost ground to the dollar. So the cedi, which had previously been pegged at 4.1, as at the last 4% increment, had now moved to about 4.6, 4.7. So the NPA, together with the BDCs, the OMCs, we call them PSPs, Petroleum Service Providers, had a meeting and said, look, your maximum indicative price, which is when you aggregate for the 2-week period, the dynamics, whether it goes up or it comes down, your maximum indicative, you submit to us. Then we put a ceiling on it. That was done. The NPA had agreed at 4.6 to $1, for which they allowed the 15% increment. I think it was harsh, but we still accommodated it. Fast forward to a few days down the line, the same dynamics do no longer hold. So one will be asking, what then is the reason of this day and time? In fact, the dollar has been able to do its own magic, whether it has a mind its own as we speak. Most places you get a dollar for 3.9. It's not even 4.0. 3. Bank of Ghana rate 3.912.
20 million.
It's not its own magic.
Someone is doing something.
A deliberate injection. But whether we can sustain is a question.
The problem with us is not even the sustainability. The moment
that it has gone down,
it moves up. Yes, the BDCs are in a hurry to say pass it on to the consumer. Today, you and I are buying fuel at 18 Ghana cedis a gallon, quite high.
No,
but
very.
if you looked at the facts,
buying gallons.
you buy
200. I'll buy 100.
Good. Initially, if you had 10 gallons at 15 Ghana, you were paying 150. Today, you are paying 180. Additional 30 Ghana cedis, which could have gone into other things. Your incomes may not have gone up as significant, so you are still being shortchanged.
It hasn't gone up.
It hasn't gone up
at all.
You are still being shortchanged. Now, what is interesting is that we moved from 4.1 to $1 to 4.6, passed on 15% to the consumer. The dollar has now moved from the 4.6 levels to 3.9. So as we speak today, if you and I buy fuel, we are giving the BDCs a huge windfall. That's what it means.
So you are demanding that
we demand that immediately. If the BDCs will not do it, the NPA should call them. I have a document here from the NPA, which says interim guidelines for petroleum service providers under price deregulation. And then it goes on to say a lot of things. But the third point it makes here, petroleum service providers, which is the PSPs I mentioned, such as the BDCs, OMCs, and those selling liquefied petroleum gas, cannot price its ex-refinery or ex-pump higher than the maximum indicative, which was the 15% they passed on. That was the 18 Ghana cedis. They cannot above the indicative than the maximum indicative price set for a specific pricing window, which is the 2-week period. However, it can revise its ex-pump prices downward. We are forcing them that because there's that window for them to come down within the pricing, period. It's a 2-week bi-weekly pricing meeting. Because they can come down or do something about it, we believe strongly that because the dynamics are today positive, the world market price has gone down by $1. It's no longer 61. It's now 59.54. So that variant is a bit constant. There's not much anybody can do about it. The world market price is constant. The cedi-dollar relationship has also proven positive for the consumer. We don't want any excuse. Government owes us. We want to be able to recover whatever. When they want money, then we get the excuses. But when the consumer has to pay more, We don't get the excuses. They pass it on to the consumer. We are demanding for a reversal of the 15% plus whatever additional reductions that could be made, so that you and I could also have some respite. It is indeed abhorrent, to say the least.
Can I just
Yes,
support?
you can.
Because you see, when you look at the price build-up, taxes are there and other forms of revenue.
Components.
The law says that they should gazette it, they should publish it in the national media, at least in the national newspapers.
I can help you with the build.
Now, so I want to know, for me, if the taxes are also being increased, then it is good for us, because at least we will say. But if the taxes are not being increased, then it is the BDCs and these filling station owners who are just getting more
from you and
you understand? And that is where we have to look. Who are those who own these things, these BDCs and so on? Who are the ones that are benefiting from the windfall? To say that the falsehood that government has been subsidizing has now been exposed. Yes, nobody subsidizes anything. So let them publish anytime. Anytime they do the 2-week review, they have to publish in the media at least on 2 occasions for us to know what are the components of the increment, especially the tax build-up, so that we don't unduly over-enrich the owners of these people. And while at our own expense, then people only, when we are talking about increase in petrol, we just talk those who use vehicles. I said the other time, what about the manufacturing companies? Yeah. The people who are producing key soap and sunlight and so on, milk. They are the ones that the basic things that our people buy from sugar and so on. They are even the ones that are buying more of these.
Because there's doom so.
Yes,
so they have to buy more
again, and transferring it to us. You understand? So I'm just saying that by tomorrow or at least 2 days' time, they have to publish. And it's the NPA's job. Publish for us what constituted the price build-up for the last review. And subsequently, they have to do it consistently because the law imposes that duty on them. So we all can look at it, put the numbers together to see whether or not there was no transpositional error or a lot of errors.
No undue addition.
Sometimes, I know. I mean, we are all for the reduction. I mean,
well, I think, but you can do all your technical stuff, but if the exchange rate doesn't improve, they will keep increasing. Straight to the point. I mean, all the elements that you talk about will be managed, but what we still are not managing properly is the CD dollar.
Fortunately for you, that component has come down.
No.
Fortunately for you.
No, you are not getting me. I said what we are not managing properly. I mean, hasn't it come down before? It has.
But prices never come down.
This is the point.
They're actually taking advantage of the consumers.
The other time I heard somebody on radio saying that the CD is losing its value against the dollar because the dollar keeps becoming stronger.
I haven't heard that one. That's not just confusing. That's pretty silly. I mean, we must credit each other with some intelligence.
So what they are doing to make the dollar stronger, why can't we also do the same to make the CD stronger?
Well, it's a small currency. Anyway, it's time to wrap up, unfortunately. Thank you very much for your time here, Duncan Amoy, Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers. Yao Opong, hope to see you quite.
And they are sweating, and then they do this.
That is what
and that's healthy. And that's healthy. You know what adds to the taste at the Chinese restaurant?
The lizard.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.